What's up, guys? So here's my predictions for UFC only on ESPN4, Dos Anjos versus Edwards. I'm just gonna put last week behind me. It's not the first time that I have a bad event, and it certainly won't be the last one. I feel like every person that does predictions will have a bad event. I've seen it on other people's pages, and yeah, I mean, every now and then you just have an event where crazy shit happens. Like the biggest underdog won. The guy that was fighting Sanchez, I think. Uriah Faber won. He was a huge underdog. But yeah, let's get on to this one. Just do the main event in this one. So start with the main event: Dos Anjos versus Leon Edwards. I have Dos Anjos by submission, round 3. I had to pause for a second. I can't remember. So yeah, I have Dos Anjos by submission, round 3. I think round 1 and 2 will be very competitive, and of course I feel like those are the rounds where Leon Edwards could possibly land the knockout blow. I feel like if it passes round 2, Dos Anjos will completely take over, and that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. I think Dos Anjos grappling and pressure will be too much for Leon Edwards, and I think he'll start to get worn out by the time by the end of round 2, and he'll get submitted by round 3. Ever since Dos Anjos moved up to welterweight, he's only lost to Kobe Covington and Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman beat the shit out of him. And not only did he out-grapple him, but he landed some nasty ground and pound. But he survived, that for sure. And then the one with Kobe, he just got out-grappled. Kobe didn't do much damage. He was more of a, I take you down, I hold you down, I hold you against a cage. Not too much damage down at that one. Leon Edwards doesn't have that. He's not going to out-grapple Dos Anjos. I don't think he can outpace him. He's a little faster on his feet, and I think it will show round 1 and 2. But like I said, I think the pressure, the grappling of Dos Anjos will wear on him, and he'll get submitted. It can very well be round. I mean, this one is tough because he could very well go to decision as well, or it could be a submission round 4. But that is my pick for this one. I think Dos Anjos fights well round 1 and 2, and eventually gets the finish round 3. Or he could also lose round 1 and 2, but then win 3, 4, and 5. But officially, I have Dos Anjos submission round 3. Then Will Harris versus Olenek. This one is an easy pick for me. I got Will Harris KO round 1. Olenek, Walt Harris training an American Top Team, and knowing everybody knows exactly what Olenek has to do. He has to take you down and submit you, or else he will not win. That has been for a while now. Like Overeem, right? Got destroyed round 1. The one with Mark Hunt, he was able to survive that fight, but and he did better than I thought. But I mean, he was eating some big shots from Hunt. But Hunt, if you take him down, it's and you have a decent grappling, you'll submit him. If you watch his fight with Junior Albini, he was getting lit up on the stand-up, and but then landed that crazy Ezekiel choke. Curtis Blades kept standing, destroyed him. Albini was destroying him until that Ezekiel thing. Over him destroying on the stand-up. And the other thing I always talk about, 42 years old. This guy's way past his prime. Walt Harris training an American Top Team. He's gonna know exactly what the game plan is and what this guy wants to do. I don't see him being able to take Harris down. I think Harris will keep it standing, and will get the knockout. So Harris, KO round 1. Then Greg Hardy, Juan Adams. I also have Hardy, KO round 1. I saw Juan Adams versus Arjun Bullard, and also Chris De La Rocha. And man, I'm not impressed by this guy at all. Super slow. There's nothing special about him. He has power, but it's like a slow motion power. And I just don't think he has anything on Hardy. I think the stand-up, they're miles apart. Greg Hardy can close the distance, get inside, and land punches that I think Juan hasn't dealt with in his career. So Greg Hardy, KO round 1. He's destroyed everyone. This one with Alan Crowder, he actually, that one actually was his debut in the UFC after the Contender Series, and I think it was a combination of adrenaline, being not having experience, and he was trying to finish Crowder from the get-go. I think that was a very big lesson for him, and we're gonna see that again. So Hardy, TKO round 1, could also very well be TKO round 2, but I'm going with round 1. Stand-up clinic, just bull rushes him, and no, let me take that back. I don't think he'll bull rush him, but I just think that the striking department, the striking difference, it will be very obvious on this one. I mean, this guy De La Rocha is like 40 years old and was able to actually keep it standing with him. He will not be able to do that with Hardy. So Hardy TKO round 1. Then James Vick versus Hooker. So I have already one underdog here, and here's my second underdog. I actually have James Vick by decision. James Vick got obviously he got starched by Justin Gaethje, but watching Hooker fight when he actually fought someone that was like Barboza, who was an amazing striker, but everyone else before him, Burns, Miller, Diakese, Pearson, were guys that Diakese showed that he was could have shown something, but he kind of went the other way and hasn't really been impressive. Although he won his last fight, but around this time, something, I don't know if he had something mental or something, but none of his opponents, except for Barboza, which he got demolished, are anything special. James Vick, Joe Duffy and Trinaldo are actually very decent fighters, and the one with Paul Felder, even though he lost, he did very well versus Felder, and I consider Felder a way better striker than Daniel Hooker. I just don't think his kicks or knees will land on Vick, and I just see Vick keeping it standing, keeping Hooker at the end of his punches and pulling a solid decision. I don't see Hooker to being able to land that one punch knockout, and I don't see just being able to outstrike Vick. So I have Vick by solid 30-27 decision. And Trinaldo versus Hernandez. I also have Hernandez by decision. This guy's 40 years old. He's not bigger. And, Hernandez learned a big lesson with Cerrone. He talked a lot of shit. So before that, he destroyed Darush in like 10 seconds. Then he out-grappled and out-worked Olivier being Mercier. And then the fight with Cerrone, I think it was a combination of cockiness and just the MMA gods telling him, you know what, talk all that shit, you're gonna lose, because he started good, he started winning, but about 3 minutes into that first round with Cerrone, Cerrone found his range and was just tagging him with that knee. Like every single time Alex would come in, Cerrone would throw a knee that would land a couple times on his face, but mostly on the body, and he was just tagging him. And it kind of like, I don't think Hernandez got gassed. I just think he got broken down by Cerrone because he was getting hit every time he got close. I think that taught Hernandez a huge lesson. He even talked about it, and I think he's kind of here to prove a point that he can be the better fighter. So I have Hernandez by solid decision on this one. And then I have Ben Rothwell KO round 2. This I feel like Arlovsky gets cut after this one. Maybe not because of the name behind him, the legend that he is, but if you watch Arlovsky's last fight versus Sakai, and then Rothwell's last fight versus Blackaway Ivanov, Sakai was actually the one doing the pressure, and Arlovsky was backing up. On this one, Ben Rothwell was doing the pressure, and Ivanov was backing up. I think that style, it's gonna fit perfect into Ben Rothwell's style, and also the fact that he had a basically a 3-year layoff in between his last fight and his second to last. So he's first, and at 37 years old, for sure he had some ring rust going into the fight with Ivanov. He's already shaking that ring rust, and bigger than Arlovsky, the desire for the rematch and to get the win. And Arlovsky, I feel like the reason why he keeps backing up is because he knows that one punch will knock him out, so he has to be careful, and I think that's gonna cost him in the fight. And I think that's what's gonna happen. I think Rothwell puts on pressure, eventually finds his range, lands a punch round 2 that knocks Arlovsky out. So I got Rothwell KO round 2. So here's my summary. Dos Anjos by submission round 3. But I feel like round 1 and 2 will be very competitive, and eventually he'll be gassed, and that's why I have submission. It could very well be round 4. I'm going round 3. I have Will Harris KO round 1. Keeps it standing, lands the punch that just puts him away. I have Greg Hardy KO round 1. Again, much better striker, much faster striker, just more aggressive, more explosive. I have James Vick by decision. Alex Hernandez by decision. And I have Rothwell KO round 2. Alright guys, have a good one.